Hi everyone, how are you? So, I'm thinking of making this video because in the last couple of weeks I have got some queries about, there were some Flutter automation demo that I had uploaded to YouTube. So, people are keen about seeing some more videos about the approach of Flutter automation. So today I'm here since I have changed my automation setup, I've changed my laptop. So I have not done any Flutter setup on this desktop right now. So because of that, uh, let me give you a very basic introduction to the approach of Flutter automation that you can at least start. So when we talk about Flutter automation, there are two things. One is this Flutter driver basic test script that you can write. So there are basically two kind of test script that you can write. One is the widget testing, like you can test the font colors, other parameters of any particular component on the screen, and another is a functional testing, like you can write test script for complete flows of any application, right? So here you go. When you search in the Google and you will say like Flutter driver, so you the first website that you will end up is this. This is the official website of Flutter, and Flutter has given their default support to integration testing and widget testing. So here is the basic approach that you can have. So in my previous videos also I mentioned, like if you have an Flutter app in hand to automate, so you can proceed with that. What you can do is you can go to the pubspec.yaml file in your Flutter application source code framework, and inside that pubspec you can add Flutter driver dependency, right? So let me go one by one. So create an app to test that you will always have when you will go for automation, and you just need to copy this particular dependency and paste in your pubspec.yaml file. Nothing else you need to do here. So you can follow this approach. Another one is creating the test files. So what do you mean by test file? Okay, when you go to the particular folder like test driver app.dart. So this is the starting point of any Flutter application, right? So there no, not this is the, like, test driver is specific to the test framework, but when you go to the lib folder there will be a file called main.dat. That will be the starting point. Like whenever you will build your application, that particular main.dat file will be called. So what we have to do is test underscore driver. This folder will be empty initially, and you have to just copy the main.dart file and you have to paste inside test driver folder, right? So this app.dart is nothing but main.dart. If you will see the hierarchy here, let us see this. So this counter app will be your application main folder. Inside that it will be lib main.dart file. So what you can do, you can copy this main.dart and you can paste inside test driver folder, right? And you can rename it to app.dart. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll write a test script which is known as app underscore test.dart, right? Okay. So as of now, your app underscore test.dart is a blank dart file. Now, what we are going to do next? We are going to instrument the application. That means we are going to build our application. Okay. So in your app app.dart, which is nothing but main.dart, right? This app.main will call the application source code. Before that, you just have to add three line of code, right? One is this enable Flutter driver extension method call, which comes from Flutter driver package.
Right. So what it will say is ki build my Flutter application with the inbuilt Flutter driver support, so that in whenever you will execute any of your Flutter driver tests, you will give particular Flutter driver command. So that command will be supported in that build. Right. So this is the whole agenda. So in your app.data, you can just copy the code and you can paste it. That is the thing you can do there. Right. And after that, you have to write your test script file. So obviously your test script will depend on your application functionality. So what you can do, you can copy the code here and you can paste in your app test.dat. So why I'm telling you to copy the code is obviously these two line of code or maybe any application specific code that you will add that will not be there, but still it will give you a structure. Like if you see here, we have a main method, then we have group, setup all, tear down, and then test. Right, so setup all is nothing but it will automatically start Flutter driver and then it will connect to it. In the test, you can write your test command, and once all the tests are executed, you can call the peer down. So if the driver is not null, it will automatically close the driver. Okay?
And then how are you adding the locator of a particular component? This is the code for that. And you just need to call find dot by text or maybe find dot by value key. So there are, as I have explained in my previous videos, you can inspect any component in Flutter application by key, by text, by IDs, all that you have. So you can add that here, and then you can execute the test script. How do you do that? So this is the command for that. So if you see in this particular in this particular Flutter page, you have all the information that you can get started with. This is how even I have done it. You just have to follow the one by one all the steps. And then when I started with creating a Flutter automation framework, so for that Flutter, there is a different team which have given support for Flutter automation using Gherkin. So they have created this package, Flutter Gherkin package, that I have used in my Flutter automation. So in my next video, I will be explaining how can you do that with a real setup code. I will be setting up everything and I will be showing you how we can use Flutter Gherkin. But for now, you can start with this approach, which will get your hands on with writing the basic start because you have to write the code in Dart language, right? So this will give you a hands free with that. You can get started, and after that, we can easily switch to Flutter Gherkin. So since this is a PDD framework, you should have that basic knowledge of very basic knowledge of Gherkin, because even I was not knowing Cucumber and Gherkin when I was about to start writing this framework. So you just need to have the basic knowledge that you can get through any of the tutorials, and then we can get started with that. So stay tuned for my upcoming videos,